recommendation is that to get the optimum system performance with desirable characteristic solution to numerous challenges to be find out in the design method of ADC. Because ADC, you will find that there are many types of ADCs are there. Pipeline ADC, you can say the flash ADC, but the device is used in the analog to digital converter is a comparator and interstage gain amplifier. But the number of comparators are used in ADC is more as compared to the other component. So the accuracy, or you can say the system performance of the comparator will ultimately determine how your ADC is going to be designed or how your ADC is going to be there. So precisely comparison of analog input signal with a reference value and extracting the digital output, or you can say that bit, is a great challenge and seems to be the main bottleneck process as far as the ADC is concerned. So power efficient, I'm not using the word low power, because for a given speed, for a given resolution and a given sampling frequency, whatever the power we are achieving, that's why I'm using that word power efficient instead of low power. So power efficient, high speed and high resolution comparator is needed to maintain the overall performance of the system to an acceptable point. So the optimization of comparator is almost important, as the comparator limits the speed of the converter. So eventually how your comparator operates, how quickly it generates the digital bit from the analog inputs, that ultimately determine the how your analog to digital converter will work and how your electronic system is work. So comparators introduction, comparator forms the core of all A to D converters. You consider many A to D architecture or any A to D architecture, you will find the heart of the ADC is comparator. So the performance limiting blocks in such ADC are two: interstage gain amplifier and comparators. But the very little emphasis has been given towards the comparator. So that's why I have chosen the topic for discussion is the comparator. So properties of the comparator, especially offset, that will determine the accuracy, the speed that will determine the conversion speed, the power dissipation have an essential effect on the accuracy, power consumption of the whole ADC. So we are talking about the consumer electronics. We are talking about the battery powered operation. We are talking about battery operated devices. So the power dissipation and power consumption is the major constraint as far as the battery operated devices is concerned. So if you look at the symbol of the comparator, it is just like an op-amp kind of symbol. Here we have two inputs, V in and V reference in general, and there you will be having an output voltage. And this is the ideal response of the comparator for a given input. It should generate an bit or a kind of signal. So you can consider as a comparator as a 1-bit analog to digital converter. So input is analog for the comparator and output is digital, as we use in A to D converter. So used in mainly the comparators are used in analog to digital converter designs. So when we want to design a high speed comparator, so this is the basic block diagram of high speed comparator. There are three stages. First stage is the pre-amplifier, through which we give the inputs. A pre-amplifier will determine which input is high on higher side, and depending on that, it is going to generate the signals. That will be given to the decision circuit. That is the positive feedback. Why positive feedback is used in comparator? Because the input provided to the system, it is you can say it is in millivolt or a microvolt. So from that difference, it has to generate a digital bit. So for that, we need an positive feedback. We use the regenerative feedback. And again, to make the single-ended output from the double-ended output, because here we have two inputs. We want to generate a single-bit digital output. So that's why we use the output buffer. So this is the basic typical block diagram of high-speed voltage comparator. This is the basic characteristic. We will limit ourselves because it is we will due to time restriction. The characteristics are divided into two categories. One is static, another is dynamic. The static characteristic is gain, output high and low state, that you can refer as VOH and VOL. Then third is the input resolution, offset voltage, and a noise. These are the static characteristics. Offset can be divided into the two category. One is the systematic offset and a random offset. Systematic offset you can remove by the circuit techniques, but the random offset there is no particular technique to remove the random offset. We have to tolerate, or we have to do the auto zeroing techniques for that. Resolution means the how many bits we can convert it. That is called the resolution of the bits. Noise leads to the uncertainty in the transition region. If we go back to the circuit, see that there is a uncertainty in the transition region. So it will create an jitter kind of effect, or you can say that it will create a phase margin. So noise is also a problem as far as the comparator is concerned. Another static characteristic is the input common mode range. This is the input voltage range where comparator functions normally. You can say that the all transistors operate in a saturation region to get the maximum out of that. Or you can get the constant current for the calculation. So this is the one of the range that is most crucial as far as the circuit designing is concerned. Now the dynamic characteristics are divided into the two categories. One is a propagation delay that will determine ultimately the speed, and second is the slew rate. So total propagation delay is being calculated as rising propagation delay time plus falling propagation delay time divided by 2. So another characteristic is common mode rejection ratio, power supply rejection ratio. That is, power supply means measures the amplifier's ability to suppress the variation in power supply, because now we are circuit are operated from the power supply, that is VDD and VSS. So any in the power supply will also to affect the circuit performance. So these are the two parameters also going to affect the circuit characteristics. Now, the most important factor is, as far as any electronics is concerned, that is a power delay product that way and the figure of merit. So the trade-off exists among speed and power. We cannot achieve both the things on time, or you can say that we cannot achieve the both the things. You can say optimize the both the things. So therefore, the superior design matrices for performance comparison is the PDP. For the effectiveness of the circuit, the value of PDP must be low. PDP means power delay product, that is P average power into delay time. And another is the figure of merit is employ the quantity of the performance of the comparator. FOM is equal to PD power dissipation 2 raised to n into Fs, where small n is the bit resolution and Fs is the sampling frequency. Now this is the trade-off in comparator design. This figure will decide what are the important constraints or what are the important design criteria are there as far as the analog mixed signal design is concerned and as far as the comparator is concerned. So from looking to this figure, we can find out that comparator is not a single dimensional optimization problem. It is multi-dimensional optimization problem. We have to work it out from the different point of view, different optimization techniques we have to apply, because suppose each and every constraints are interrelated. Suppose we want power dissipation to be reduced, then it is going to be going to affect the overdrive recovery. Also, it is going to affect the speed. Similarly, if we lower down the supply voltage, then it is also going to be affected by the noise. That will be also going to affect the voltage swing, the gain. Then again the linearity. If there is an issue with linearity, then you will have the problem of distortion. So these are interrelated. So the comparator is a multi-dimensional optimization problem. So basically there are three types of comparators. One is open loop comparator, that is basically operational amplifier without compensation. There is no compensation technique applied. As we know, in operational amplifier, we apply the compensation for the performance improvement. Second is regenerative comparator. So this comparator uses positive feedback. Am I clear? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Regenerative comparator. This comparator uses the positive feedback. And third type of comparator is a high speed comparator. That is the combination of above two. That is the combination of open loop comparator and regenerative comparator. So when we combine the both together, we will come out with the high speed comparator. So for this research work, this many paper, I think more than this many papers have been studied, and final comparison table has been prepared. So from this we can find out that which are the parameters are more crucial as far as the design of comparator is concerned, which kind of parameters we have to optimize. So this is the things that we have to look at, that particular technology, the supply voltage, the delay, the speed, the offset, power, the resolution, then the power delay product, and a figure of merit. So I think from 2004 to 2017, I think paper has been before up to 2019, but here the comparison is given up to 2017. So from this above table, we come down to the uh, particular design specification for our comparator design. That what should be the design specification. So according to that, we have to design the circuit. So finally, the technology used for this comparator design is 180 nanometer. Supply voltage is plus or minus 0.9 volt. Sampling frequency is greater than equal to 1 gigasample per second. Offset voltage should be less than 5 millivolt. Propagation delay should be less than zero point 0.5 nanosecond, and power dissipation is less than 500 microwatt. And the tool used for to carry out this design or research, that is Tenor EDA, Mentor Graphics, and Cadence. These are the tools used for the microelectronics and VLSI design. So this is basic Lewis Gray comparator. I will go to the actual design of comparator, how we have carried out the research, and how we can do the number of iterations to come out to the final circuit. So this is basic standard Lewis Gear comparator. You can find this comparator in most of the papers. Many of the researchers have compared their research work or the comparator design on the basis of Lewis Gray comparator. Here there are M1, M2, M3, M4 comprises the pre-amplifier stage, then M5, M6, M7, M8, that is the late stage, and these are the differential input. V reference minus, V in plus, V in minus, V reference plus. Here VDD, VSS. It is also the dual output, V out minus and V out plus. So again, to convert it into the single-ended output, we again need to add one more block, that is buffer block, that will ultimately convert our two, you can say double-ended output to a single-ended output. Again, another comparator that is found in a research, or you can say for as a reference, this is fully differential dynamic comparator. If we go back to this comparator and this comparator, we can find out that there is a difference in the inputs, how the input has been applied. Here, this comparator is fully differential because it will have the comparison between V in plus and V in minus, and V reference plus and V reference minus. It should actually the like this, but here it is not like that. Here it is comparing V in plus, V reference plus, and V in minus minus V reference minus. So the problem of this comparator not to have a fully differential operation is overcome by this fully differential dynamic comparator. Uh, this is again the comparator has been referred. Now there is another third comparator is referred. This is again fully differential dynamic comparator, but this comparator operates on a two-phase clocking. So here is the double phase architecture. The latch circuit is separated. This is latch middle part, and these are the two pre-amplifier parts. So latch circuit is separated from the amplification branches. So each stage operates independently with the different clock pulse phi 1 and phi 2. See that here is phi 1, here is phi 1, and again the latch is operated with a different phase clocking phi 2. Another comparison here, these all three previous architecture was not a double tail architecture, but now later on we will come here onwards, we will discuss about the double tail architecture. So here you can see that there are double tail is exist and for the higher operation or higher speed of operation. So again, this is the double tail dynamic comparator. Dual tail is there. Again, this is the another conventional double tail dynamic comparator. This is also, now we come to the how we have come out to the proposed architecture. So we have taken one architecture as a reference, and we have come out, we have done the many iteration how this circuit is going to work, and by doing some changes in doing the mathematical analysis, doing the simulation, and doing the Monte Carlo analysis, we have found out the how which comparator is more stable against the parameter variation, and which suits the best to the specification. So I will go to directly to the my final comparison because the presentation is too. So this is the uh, uh, from here onwards, we have proposed 10 comparators, but I will discuss only 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the main comparator design. So this is the a single, you can say the single tail comparator. This is also the single tail comparator, but here reset circuitry has been modified. See that this clock and this clock will reset this node D1 and D2. So here the concept has been used of charge sharing. These two transistors have been removed, and here only single transistor has been replaced with these two transistors. So here the concept of charge sharing has been used. So the so this is the one concept has been used to reset the circuitry. Otherwise, the circuit is same. This is another circuit. Here we have converted the single tail comparator into the double tail comparator. The circuit is remain same, but we have added, we have separated out the pre-amplification stage and a late stage by adding the one more tail here to make the speed, you can say the comparison speed much more higher. But also by adding the another tail, it is also going to consume more power, as there are two VDDs available, two supplies are available in the system. And here also addition of two extra transistors, so it will consume more power as compared to these previous circuits. Another circuit, this is the same, you can say that here only changes has been made. Instead of two transistor at the bottom one, we have used a single transistor with the larger W by L ratio, so that we can have more stability, we can have the constant current flowing through the tail transistor, so that the input operation is more stable. So this changes, this two transistor from the bottom has been replaced into the single transistor here. Now I will go to the, this is the final design what we have come out from all this for iteration, the simulation, the mathematical analysis, and the Monte Carlo analysis. Here actually if we use this kind of circuit, uh, we have utilized the concept of differential circuit as well as the double tail circuit. So I have given the new name, that is FDD, the fully differential double tail dynamic comparator. So this PC10 is the fully differential double tail dynamic comparator. Here we have used the double tail as well as the circuit is fully differential. Here we have removed these two transistors because this FP and FN, again it will operate as a reset circuitry for these two internal nodes D1 and D2. So this is all about the transistor sizing. We have used for 10 transistors, sorry, for 10 comparators for all transistors. So this has been through mathematical analysis. But now we go into the pre-simulation results. So what we have achieved. So these are the comparators have been proposed from the references through the iteration, through the simulation. So we can see that here the comparison has been given for 5 parameters. One is the number of transistors used by the circuitry, the delay of the circuitry, the offset voltage, then input common mode range, and the power dissipation. So if we go by the number of transistors, PC10 FDD TDC, that means fully differential double tail dynamic comparator, has only 13 transistors, the delay of 0.24 nanosecond, the offset voltage, least offset voltage of 0.11 milliwatt, the input common mode range of 0. 0.50 to 0.57, and the power dissipation of 216.37 microwatts. So this is the our ultimate comparator that has been proposed. Actually, all are proposed, but this is the final design that has been come out from the all this iteration and all this analysis and simulation. So this is the layout of the reference comparator. This layout has been prepared through Mentor Graphics. Layout is the area of 16.5 micrometer, sorry, to 17.16 micrometer. Same design has been, these two design has been carried out in a two different tools as far as the layout is concerned. One is in used by the Mentor Graphics, another is a Cadence. So this is layout in Cadence. So similarly, this is the layout for all design. So we'll directly go to the final. This is the PC10 architecture. That is the FDD TDC4. That is the area of 15.03 micrometer into 17.18 micrometers. Least area occupied by this comparator. So this is the layout of buffer. As I already told you that uh, we have two inputs. We want single output, single-ended output. So we need the buffer to make it digital output. So this is the layout of the buffer circuit that is used. That is 13.1 micrometer to 14.17 micrometer. So finally, this is the one reference architecture FDDC. That is fully differential dynamic comparator. Against that, we have proposed four fully differential double tail dynamic comparator. So comparison has been given for this FDDC against this FDD TDC. So if we compare the number of transistors, delay, offset voltage, phase margin, input noise spectral density, output, PSRR, or dynamic power dissipation, PDP. So we can find out that PC10 FDD TDC4 is more superior design as far as the FDDC concerned, fully differential dynamic comparator and a double tail dynamic comparator. So in this proposed circuitry, we have used the concept of both fully differential as well as the double tail dynamic comparator. So this is the Monte Carlo analysis, the histogram for the offset voltage, the number of trials, iteration, and the offset voltage. So the absolute value of offset voltage for FDDC, that is reference circuitry, that is 4.1 millivolt, and the sigma VOS, that is 2.49 millivolt. That is the variation of offset voltage observed. Similarly, this is the histogram for all fully differential double tail dynamic comparator. So if we go to the last, this FDD TDC4, that is absolute value of offset voltage is 0.36 millivolt, and the variation, that is the sigma VOS, that design. These are the another performance comparison that has been there for delay versus supply voltage. So if we see the here, delay is 370 picosecond, 0.37 nanosecond is there for FDD TDC4 at VDD equal to 0.9 volt for delta V, differential voltage of 1 millivolt. Similarly, as VDD changes from 0.9 volt to 1.5 volt, see that here the VDD is varying 0.7 volt, 1.5 volt, 0.7 volt to 1.5 volt. So the delay decreases from 370 picosecond to 130 picosecond. So we can say that by increasing the supply voltage, we can reduce the delay. But by increasing the supply voltage, we are also increasing the power consumption of the circuit. So we have to optimize between the delay and power consumption. Or you can say that there is a trade-off exists between the supply voltage and the delay. Again, this is the performance comparison against the temperature. How so that for three temperature, you can say that from range from -25 to 25, 255 degrees centigrade, how the comparator operates and how the delay. So you can see that FDD TDC4 is almost stable as far as the against the temperature variation is concerned. So this is the again will give the uh, advantage of where the you can find the extreme condition even in a space, outer space, or you can find in a desert, or you can find in a snow areas. So this is again the Monte Carlo simulation for all the mismatch for the transistor pair. As we are seeing that the comparator design, if we go back, it is a pair. There are number of pairs has been there: M1, M2, M3, M5, M5, M6, M9, M10, M11, M12, M7, M8, and M14 and M13. So this kind of pair. So when we align the transistor in a layout or in a chip, there will be mismatch will be there. So this mismatch also going to affect the circuit performance. So these are the simulation results which will show us that which are the most critical transistor as far as the particular design is concerned. So by seeing that M5 and M6 is the you can say that the much more higher contribution as far as the variation in offset is concerned. If we mismatch there is a mismatch between M5 and M6. So why the FDD TDC4 final comparator is more stable, because we are using only the single transistor in the circuit in a bottom. See that here. Here is the there are two transistor M5 and M6. Here we have used only the single transistor M5 with a larger area. So we are removing the effect of mismatch from this comparator. Here there is no issue of mismatch. So this comparator again is more stable as far as the parameter variation is concerned against the transistor mismatch. So again, this is a delay versus input voltage difference, because the comparator has to compare the differential input voltage, because this is a differential circuit. So small amount of input must be detected by the comparator, and it should produce the output. So the delay is again 370 picosecond, 0.37 0.37 nanosecond for delta V in equal to 1 millivolt for a common mode voltage of 200 millivolt. And again, I would like to add one more thing, that this is the differential circuit. It should operate on a differential mode. It should not operate on a common mode voltage. It should work on a differential circuit. So the delay is decreasing as the differential input voltage is increasing for a given value of VCN. So if we increase the differential input voltage, then the delay is going to be decreases. So again, this is the corner analysis. Even in a transistor, we can find out the different kind of transistor. Here, FF stands for fast transistor. This is FS stands for fast and slow transistor. This TT indicates typical transistor. SF means slow and fast transistor, and this SS means slow transistor. So we have used the all kind of transistors to see the performance of the comparator and against the variation. So this is the corner analysis for the delay. Again, there is a fast transistor will give more superior performance. Then again, offset voltage, then power dissipation, then again power delay product. So it has been different kind of analysis has been carried out to see that which comparator works more superior and fulfills all the design. So this is all about post layout simulation. So now what are the observation has been there. So actually there are two kind of designs exist as far as the comparator is concerned: differential design or a double tail design. So again, another most important or a crucial factor that will determine the accuracy and performance of the comparator is how the we design the tail transistor, because most of the accuracy will come from the tail transistor. So it limits the total current flowing through the both of the output branches. It shows strong dependency on the speed offset voltage with different common mode input voltage. So the design of this transistor has more crucial influence on the design, or you can say the on the performance. The again there are different stages are there. First stage is input stage, another stage is the late stage. So we have to separate out the input stage as well as the output stage for the better noise immunity. The comparator have a lower and more stable offset voltage over a wide input common mode voltage range and operate at a supply voltage. If we focus or if we concentrate on the separation of input gate stage and output late stage. Again, we have to reset every time the decision has been made, circuit bit is been generated. We have to again reset the comparator for the next comparison. So how we use the uh, reset circuitry, how we remove these code dependent errors or a decision, that is also the going to affect the performance of the design. And again, for low offset there should be less taking of transistor between input transistor and tail transistor. So in summary, in conventional comparator, the mismatch between cross-coupled circuit determines the trade-off between speed, offset, and power consumption. So modified the existing architecture, and the total 10 architectures are proposed. But in all architectures has been characterized for the offset voltage, propagation delay, ICMR, gain, phase margin, CMRR, PSRR, power dissipation, mismatch, process variation, supply voltage, temperature variation, and the for all architecture. So the need for ultra low power, area efficient, high speed analog to digital converter is pushing towards the use of dynamic comparator and double tail to maximize the speed and power efficiency. We need both. We need the efficiency, we need the accuracy, and we need the speed. So we have to utilize the concept of differential comparator as well as the double tail comparator. So in proposed comparator, we have used the concept of both differential circuitry as well as the double tail circuitry. So the trade-off between power, speed, and offset. So proposed architectures are less sensitive to the parameter variations, as we have seen the various parameters against which we have tested the circuit, and are more stable than the existing architecture. So if we go by the all proposed comparators, the final comparator, that is a PC10, or you can, I have given the name is FDD TDC, fully differential double tail dynamic comparator 4, is 45% more faster and 30% more power efficient with very low offset as compared to the conventional comparator. So the core circuit layout occupies the total area of 267.53 micrometer per square. So FDD TDC4 has the resolving capability of 1 millivolt difference. So it can work up to 1 millivolt difference. So it will result into the 10-bit resolution. So the Monte Carlo simulation confirms that FDD TDC4 has low offset voltage of 0.36 millivolt at 1.3 gigahertz, while dissipating the power of 265.25 microwatt. So this is final, you can say the confirmation from the Monte Carlo analysis that what is the offset voltage for a given frequency and for a given power consumption or dissipation. So how we can take this concept and what can be carried out in future. So proposed FDD TDC can be optimized for minimum offset voltage and maximum speed at limited area. You can use the lower technology for the getting more performance from the comparator or from the more from this concept. The concept of FDD TDC can be utilized for present and future design to maximize the sampling frequency. This comparator works up to 1.3 gigahertz. Suppose we want to take it to 3 gigahertz, so this concept can be taken to the future comparison design with the lower technology uh, uh, for high precision, high speed application like ADC, wearable and consumer electronics, or even it can be used for IoT. The proposed architecture can be further be implemented in lower technology for better optimization of design trade-off to meet the specification of the future. So from this uh, research, or you can say that from this proposed comparator, almost 10 papers has been published in a different international journals and conferences, and these are the references. Any question? संदीप जी आपका माइक बंद है. Any question?
Hello,
हेलो.
can you?
हाँ
Hello.
हाँ
Yes, thank
हाँ
you.
जी हाँ जी यानी
Thank you very
हाँ
much, Dr. Gandhi.
for
And
40 हाँ I have to truncate my presentation because I have
yes,
almost 200 slides in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Telegram. हाँ
So, is there any
हाँ
question from the audience? Then please, you can
हाँ
ask
any
one by one.
question. हाँ हाँ
Even that was fully on this circuits and all this. So, we biological, I think Ashish, Dr. Ashish, and me, who is a biologist, couldn't understand anything.
Even it can be
So,
used in many medical instruments.
yes.
Actually, everywhere you find the electronics, there will be a comparator will be there because
Hmm.
the human body will generate the signal that is by default inherent analog signal.
Hmm.
So, and every instrument will be digital nowadays.
Yes.
So, it should be converted to the analog to the digital signal. So in any of the electronics gadget, you can find mobile, cell phone. You can even any of the medical instrument. You'll find the ADC and you will find the comparator.
So,
This differential, sorry,
Yes, sir.
yeah, Dr. Gandhi, it was a nice
Yes, yes.
presentation. Thank you.
Uh,
So these differential comparators are available in commercially available?
there are many comparators are commercially available, but whatever the concept that we have proposed, that is
Yeah,
FDD
that
TDC.
differential comparator you are talking
That has
about.
been proposed by me in I think in 2018. Actually,
Okay.
but we haven't patented. So this from this research, there are many researchers who have taken this as a references and carried out the further work, and maybe they have come out with the chip also. Actually, but I am not
Uh-huh.
sure. Okay.
That's good.
so,
Thank
so
you.
I think Bandhan Nagaria has one question and Ketan
Yes,
Prajapati
yes,
has.
sir.
So please ask one
Yes,
by
yes.
one.
Hello.
Sir, what is the difference between static comparator and dynamic comparator?
Static comparator works on you can say that there will be no clock will be there. It will only work on a input signal. Whatever the input we present, that will generate the output. But dynamic comparator, there will be always clock based operation will be there. Once the clock will be there, once the input will be there, it is going to generate the output. So it is a clock based operation in a dynamic comparator. So this is the
Okay,
simple
sir.
answer. In detail also, you can go in detail also. But this is the basic answer for your question. Static and dynamic.
Okay, the next question is from Ketan Prajapati.
Yes,
Please.
yes.
Ketan is there?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Ketan is
Hello.
there?
Yes, yes. He's there. Please unmute yourself. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for presentation.
Yes.
Sir, my question is there. Which type
Mhm.
is protection required in this computer?
Which kind of protection?
Protection. Protection required.
Protection in which sense are you talking?
Uh, Power loss or consumption types of any other protection requiring this FDD-TC.
Actually, every electronic circuit require a protection
Ha,
for
ha, ha.
the you can say the heat and everything, because every electronics gadget will consume some power, right? Power consumption will be there and there will be power dissipation. So it is going to generate the heat. So it should be observed. Otherwise, the device is going to be burned out. So there
Ha.
are option of heat sinks also there. But as far as this circuit is concerned, if we only focus on this circuit and if you want to uh, go by the performance only, that how we can get the better performance out of this uh, uh, comparator. So I have given that observation here, that we have to consider
Yes.
these many things: differential design or double tail design. We have to focus on the tail transistor circuitry. How we design the tail transistor will determine the performance of your comparator, whether it is more stable or not. Then again, we have to separate the input stage and output stage for the better noise immunity. Again, comparator, every time comparator has to compare the input. So after the one comparison, it should be reset. So how we are going to reset the design, it is also the important factor. It also determines the speed also. Again, if we reset to the VDD, if we reset to the zero, or if we reset to the VDD by 2. So there are many reset techniques are available, and it has its own advantage and disadvantage. So we have to consider all these things while designing the comparator or any of the circuitry. And again, one more thing is the less stacking of transistor between input transistor and tail transistor. If we go into the circuit, if I go into the circuitry, just see that here only you can say the tail transistor M5, and directly there is a M1, M2, M3, M4. So there is less stacking of transistor between tail and input transistor. Then directly again it has been connected to the power supply. But if we go into the other circuitry, which I have see that here, see that here tail transistor is there, input transistor is here, but here also there is a two more transistor has been inserted, MSW1 and MSW2. So there you can see that the stacking of transistor is too much here. So it is also going to affect the performance as far as the how quickly your comparator is going to detect the signal. So if there is a less stacking of transistor between input and output, it will perform much more in a better way. See that here also. See that stacking of transistors. See that.
Okay.
So from this research, I have come to this observation that if we want to design a circuit, more superior circuit, you can take this concept to any of the differential circuit, any of the analog and mixed signal circuit. These are the observation is in general applicable to all differential circuitry, because all differential circuitry will have to detect something, has to produce something, and again depending on the dynamic operation, it has to reset also itself. So these are the observation is applicable to all the dynamic circuitries and differential circuitries. So you can take it this concept to any of your analog mixed signal VLSI design. I think am I clear to your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Otherwise, if you have any query, I have my email is mentioned.
Yes,
On
please,
first
Dr.
line, I will go
Gandhi,
back.
please you drop your email
Yes,
in the chat box so that everyone can note down.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Any more question?
Any other have any question? Okay.
So this is my email address.
Okay.
Anyone can.
So please note down his email address, priyesgandhi@gmail.com. So anyone if want to just connect with Dr. Gandhi later, she can join. So I think Dr. Gandhi has finished
And
on
again,
time.
if you want to, still 5 minutes is there. If you want,
Yeah, sure.
A post layout simulation I haven't seen shown you. So we will go so that it will clear much more. So see that this is a pre-layout and post-layout, and how it goes. I have only for final comparator that I'm making visible. So this is all about transient analysis, clock-based operation for different input, sine input, square input, and we are generating an output. Again, this is calculation of delay. How we are going to calculate the delay. So these are the crossing points that we have taken. As I have mentioned that propagation delay is TPHL plus TPLH divided by 2. Again, this is offset voltage that has been measured, and this is ICMR range that is we have taken. See that this is the range through which the comparator functions normally. So we should try to keep the comparator or any of the circuit to work in this range. Then this is the frequency response for differential gain and common mode gain. And now calculated the CMR also, common mode rejection ratio, phase margin. Again, the PSRR, power supply rejection ratio for so variation in VDD and variation in supply voltage. These are the results.
Dr. Gandhi, I think
Again, Yes, sir.
I think Dr. Patel have a question. So he's raising
Yes,
his
yes.
hand.
Sure, sure, sir. I am only visible to 4 of them.
So Dr. Patel, please go ahead.
Yes, yes. Dr. Patel. Hello? Hello?
Dr. Patel, can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, Dr. Patel. Unmute yourself.
Dr.
Yes.
Patel, you can ask your question.
Hello? Hello?
I think he
Dr.
is
Andy
not.
Patel. He is present. I think. Dr.
Is
Andy
my-
Patel? Hello?
Dr. Patel, can you hear us? Hello? I think
Hello?
there is some problem with Dr. Patel because his mic is still unmute.
Hello? Hello, Dr. Patel? Hello?
Dr. Patel, can you hear it? Can you hear us?
Hello? Yes, yes. Dr. Patel? Go ahead.
I think
Hello?
Dr. Patel is not hearing Dr. Gandhi. I think he's
Sure. Okay,
not.
okay.
Yeah,
No
I
issue.
think he's
So
not
this
able
is
to.
what how the histogram has been created for number of trials for offset voltage. So if Ketan Prajapati wants to see, go ahead. This is
Yeah, Ketan
how it
Prajapati
is
want to ask something.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Please.
Sir, all the analysis are MATLAB based or any other
No, no, it has been used
software?
in Tenor EDA, Mentor Graphics, and Cadence. There is no use of MATLAB because for microelectronics VLSI, these are the three tools that we have to use: Tenor EDA, Cadence, and Mentor Graphics.
Okay.
Then see, there we have there is a free for
Tenor you can find
priceable.
out from any of the students, but Mentor Graphics and Cadence is a licensed version software. You have to work in the university or colleges where they have license of this software for Cadence and Mentor Graphics.
Okay, I think no more question from anyone. Is there anyone to ask any question?
Hello? Hello, any question?
Dr. Patel was raising his hand, but I think his voice is not coming. So, okay, then fine.
Dr. Andy
Dr.
Patel?
Gandhi.
Hello? Anyone?
Dr.
Hello?
Patel. Dr. Patel.
No response.
I think he is not able to listen.
Unmute yourself, Dr. Patel. Your mic is on mute. Now go ahead.
Now you can speak. Yes.
Go ahead. Keep your mic near to your mouth, Dr. Patel. Yes. Go ahead. Not getting your voice.
Dr. Patel, we are not getting your voice.
Not getting your voice, Dr. Andy Patel.
I think. I don't know what is the problem. I think his mic is not working properly. Anyways, thank you, Dr. Gandhi, for such a nice presentation.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for the opportunity.
it's honor for me and even for ISET Foundation to have you as a member also, as a life member. So I think there were no student from your college to attending this. Have you circulated?
No, I have circulated to my past students because actually we don't have, this is specialized subtopic. And
Okay.
it is for especially for ME or MTech students.
Okay.
Master of Engineering or Master of Technology students.
Okay.
Or even for PhD students.
Research students. Yes, yes. That's why.
Research students.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Dr. Gandhi. So I think you have another lecture on 12th, I think. That is on motivation
Yes,
and
yes.
other stuff. So we'll see you again.
Motivation, self and team. Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So we'll see you again on 12th. And I think that lecture will more focus on the motivation things. So your student will be there.
Yes,
So
sure,
I think so.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for all participants, Dr. Ashish and Ketan Prajapati and Dr. N.D. Patel, Dr. Bandhan Nagaria. Thank you so much to all for joining us, and we'll see you all in next meeting. Okay. So bye to all of you and take care. Okay, Dr. Gandhi. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for nice presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.